the Second Stories channel is successful not just because it's right wing, but because it makes other people very angry because it's very bad. I promised I would cover something because it's a video by a friend of the channel who started doing her own content, their own content. My apologies. I think their own content. Let me ask quickly. I am so sorry. I need to stop doing that. He, him. My apologies. He, them, me, me. Okay. Their own content. His own content. Do you prefer he or they? Their own content. My apologies. Yeah, Richard. Richard's great. They did a video responding to the Second Story. And it's really well done. So we're gonna cover that. Subscribe to his channel. It's really good. His stuff is really solid. And he's finally got his audio sorted out. So here we go. I like this intro.
We have to stop making videos about how much the Second Story sucks. Please. I mean it. Why?
So the Second Story is a right-wing grifting sort of lit review and writing advice channel that rails against how AI is saturating, you know, popular writing. Well, I'm pretty certain. I think Richard actually disagrees. While very likely engaging in the use of AI herself for her scripts, I notice some trends. I think the major thing is I see a lot of people who are like skeptical of like, whoa, what do you mean this is written by AI? Do you have any proof? And so on and so forth. And here's the thing: it's difficult to convey to your average person how you can tell when something is written by AI, but you can tell. And I'll try to explain it this way. I'm going to make a video on this at some point when I'm a little less like whatever, because I'm sick and I was just reading stuff that made me sicker. When you actually read stuff like on the regular, you start to notice when things hit sort of an even level of mid-tier depth without getting any farther than that. So for example, when you read like, I don't know, let's say when you read Plato or whatnot and you take it seriously, you'll go down some rabbit holes and you'll have like things that stick in your mind that you talk about with, you know, a relative level of depth versus other things that you don't. If you have ChatGPT write you a script, it will give you a script in the voice of no one on earth. Why? Because it is a median point between everyone's writing. It is bland to the point of uniqueness. It is a level it is a low level of depth, or a mid level of depth, or even a relatively high level of depth, but without any edge, and it doesn't pursue any thread farther than any other. Why? Because it's prioritizing format. Because the prompt you give it is make me a script. Make me a script that will succeed on YouTube in however terms you're putting it. And by the way, there are tools, and indeed you can actually just tell ChatGPT, hey, make this look less like ChatGPT. Hey, get rid of the, go a little light on the 3-beat repetition. The sign of something being made by AI is that it has information that one only acquires with investigation but no evidence of pursuit, no evidence of interest in these particulars. I would like, to be honest with you, to take a different tack with this, because I'm not actually opposed to the use of AI, even in script writing. It depends on how it's used. For example, I am perfectly fine with somebody putting their notes. Let's say somebody has trouble writing, okay? Somebody has writer's block or whatever. I am perfectly fine with someone taking their notes, putting it into an AI site, and saying, hey, arrange these notes in a way that would be amenable to creating a script. Or arrange these notes in a script even, right? But don't change them. Arrange them in a script, but don't change them. And then the person looks them over, compares them with their own notes, sees that they're the same, and runs with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. I would prefer if people started assuming everything was AI that could be replaced with AI. And what I mean is this. People are concerned about the proliferation of slop content because of AI, but I got to tell you guys, slop content does not require AI to exist. AI simply makes the process more efficient. Thank you, Smithback, for the $5. Why is that not working? That is so frustrating. I gotta sort out the. I swear to God, I think Stream Elements is just like shitting the bed lately. Too bad Frank Herbert is dead. I would have loved to see his take on ChatGPT, though he probably would have been canceled if he were still alive. Drama. Sorry, I'm still fucked up about the stuff I was reading. I don't know he would even have anything to say about ChatGPT, to be honest with you, because it's not AI, right? That's the main thing. It's not AI. But like, here's the thing. People have been making slop for a very long time. PhilosophyTube still makes slop, the old-fashioned way. Bless her heart. Why? Because the principal problem here is not that people are using AI to make content. The principal problem here is that people are making content at all. People are making video essays specifically to game the algorithm and get money, which means they have no intellectual value because you're aiming for the lowest common denominator. You're trying to appeal to people who are not interested in learning, who are interested instead in feeling warm fuzzies about stuff they're already consuming. And that stuff will always win because it manipulates your affect in a way that stuff that challenges you and makes you uncomfortable doesn't. AI-generated slop is both slightly more competent than this other stuff, but also like significantly less interesting. And I feel like people are eventually going to stop being sort of entranced by it, and I feel like there's already a subculture sort of developing around people actually developing real thoughts, and I think that's good. But there's a flip side to this as well, which is like a lot of the anti-AI content that you see, a lot of the people who are fear-mongering about AI, I got some news for you guys. They're doing the same thing. They're playing the same game. They're using your panic and your paranoia to sell really poorly reasoned out content to you on the cheap to improve their economic situation. And by the way, they're probably using ChatGPT to do so. Just FYI. Anyways, here we go.
From the fact that it's a waste of time to the fact that we're inadvertently promoting a shitty channel, I have a lot of reasons. Yeah,
this is something else too, and this is one of the things I like about Richard's video. He points out that channels like The Second Story are fundamentally marketable because they are rage bait. They make people angry, so a lot of people respond to them, including me. I'm guilty of this, and I probably will in the future, but I'm going to be a little bit more careful about it. The Second Story's channel is successful, not just because it's right-wing, but because it makes other people very angry, because it's very bad. And you got to wonder, like, is that not a very powerful marketing strategy? Is that not what they're doing? 3 seconds into pauses. This is 29 seconds in, actually, and don't complain about pauses. I pause a lot. I'm sorry. make peace with it. You want to watch the video yourself, you can. I highly recommend it. Go subscribe to Richard Discord. I don't know why it's called Richard Discord, but Richard Discord. Richard's channel is very good.
The second story is a YouTube channel with
And he has a very good voice.
120,000 subscribers, owned by author Hillary Lane. As far as I can tell, she has no credentials, educational nor professional, unlike other female middle-aged owners of popular writing channels like Alyssa Matizik, whom you may remember from my head-hopping video. I think Alyssa is a slop tuber and a grifter, but at least she's a professional editor, and she does give decent feedback on individual projects. She has a few videos that are her reactions to her subscribers' manuscripts, and I think they're a useful insight into how a traditional publishing house editor might react to your story. Hillary, by contrast, is more of a know-nothing that is openly resentful of know-somethings. Seriously, she doesn't
That's a good line.
know anything. Let's look through her About page on her Substack. My name is Hillary Lane. I'm a writer and lifelong student of literature and history. I was born and raised in a strange, mythical time before the internet, and so, books were how I occupied myself. Books and writing. This is a fragment. It should be in this previous sentence. I had the extraordinary good fortune to be taken into the educational care of several brilliant minds who taught me not what to think, but how to think. As such, my upbringing was both highly unusual and very fruitful. By the
Yes, we will be having a Patreon stream after this.
time I graduated from high school, I had already seen a great deal of our beautiful nation, and so, I spent some time in Europe familiarizing myself with the old world of my people. Time in Europe. Yeah, I think we need a comma here. As an American, the notion of ancient roots can be somewhat difficult to comprehend, but I could not help but notice that such ancientness seemed to be slipping out of view. In America, probably. Nevertheless, in Europe, and in the strange ancient environment of my upbringing, I found a love for things that are not so much old as they are timeless. This
Comma cop. There is an incorrect way to use commas. There is a way to use commas that breaks up your sentence artificially in a way that's not good. There is a skillful versus an unskillful use of punctuation.
adjusted my previously broad interests, and I began to focus my study on history.
Like I would put a comma here. And the reason why you put a comma here, by the way, I actually agree with Richard's judgment in this case. Not in every case, but I agree in this case. So when you look in here, okay, this is how the sentence, like the purpose of a comma fundamentally is to break up, I guess, sub-thoughts within a broader, like, string of reasoning. So this adjusts my previously broad interests, and I began to focus my study on history and mythology. How you say this is there's a space implied here that is not actually present in the punctuation of the sentence. You don't say, this adjusts my previously broad interests, and I began to focus my study on history and mythology. It's like, this adjusts my previously broad interests, and I began to focus my study on history and mythology, and I pursued my own fiction writing, and I am frequently, you see, that's the tone if you continue that indefinitely. You would say, this adjusted my previously broad interests, comma, because there's a space here, there's a breath here. And I then, which is what that space facilitates, began to focus my study on history and mythology. A comma here is what somebody would probably put down if they were writing in the key with some level of competence that this person is writing in. Does that make sense? Like, it's not like there's a rule that says you have to have it there, but it's very poor craftsmanship is how I would put it, right?
History and mythology. This should not be two sentences. This should be a comma and this should be lowercase.
All right, let's see about this one. Hang on. I began to focus my study on history and mythology while pursuing my own fiction writing. This is actually, oh my God, I didn't even see this one. Period. This is a sentence fragment. While pursuing my own fiction writing. Eliminate everything else from here. I see some people criticizing Richard's critiques of second story's punctuation. This is embarrassing. You're gonna make a creative writing lecture channel, and you're going to put a sentence fragment like this in. Like, dear God.
while pursuing my own fiction writing. I am frequently asked where I learned about what I know and talk about in my videos. The answer, broadly, is life and books. This is a fragment, should be in this sentence, is life and books. We don't need any punctuation here. I did not go to college, comma, and actually no, that's fine. I did not go to college and opted instead to travel and teach myself. Everything I know, comma, I've taught myself. It has taken a long time, comma, and it has been a lot of work, but every inch of it was worth it. We need a comma here because this is an independent clause. It's fine that there isn't one here because opted instead to travel and teach myself is a dependent clause. I believe in the power and responsibility of storytelling in the formation of cultures, civilizations, and individuals. After all, we are what we read. Writers and storytellers have an obligation not just to entertain, but also to illuminate. Stories are not just the lifeblood of a people, they are also our nourishment. I think we, as a society, ought to look more closely at how we're choosing to nourish ourselves. The sentence is weird, because lifeblood and nourishment seems like the same thing to me. Like, your blood is what carries nutrition around to all of your cells, right? Or is lifeblood, she means it's like the DNA of a people, like it's hereditary, and nourishment it means how they develop your mind. Either way, I think, yeah, it's too similar to me. I currently live in a quiet part of beautiful America with my husband and daughter, and some 8 billion books. This is a fragment. If you would like to read my current novel, this needs a comma, The Blueprints, you can find it here. We need a comma here.
What year is this from? This is posted in 2025, right? Didn't the game The Blueprints come out like when this was written? That's kind of weird. I find that kind of weird.
Because she only has one current
Not implying anything. I find it kind of weird.
novel. If she had multiple, then you wouldn't need a comma here. You guys should take with a grain of salt anything that comes out of a so-called writing scholar's mouth, if she doesn't even know basic comma rules.
By the way, Richard is actually an academic. Richard is I believe, a PhD candidate. Richard actually knows what he's talking about when he writes. He's very good, actually. We've had Richard in several theory VCs in the server, and he's generally one of the better contributors. Don't agree with the last one either. Why? Hang on. Let's analyze this. If you'd like to read my current novel, The Blueprints, you can find it here. Here's why Richard is saying that you wouldn't put a comma here.
And
There's no space here. It's not, if you'd like to read my current novel, The Blueprints, you can find it here. This is just continuous, right? This is just continuous. If you'd like to read my current novel, The Blueprints, you can find it here. Here's where you would put commas potentially. If you'd like to read my current novel, comma, The Blueprints, comma, you can find it here. You would not put a single comma here. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
you wouldn't need a comma here. You guys should take with a grain of salt anything that comes out of a so-called
I bought The Blueprints, by the way. It was on sale, and I got it.
writing scholar's mouth, if she doesn't even know basic comma rules. This About Me page is as professional as the unedited manuscripts that I see from randos on Discord. I have to send the same 3 reference pages of comma rules that I see like 80%
The game, not the book.
of the time that I edit somebody's story. And sometimes these randos don't even speak English fluently. If I weren't so respectful of their privacy, I'd prove how similar the mistakes that they make are. Also, this is her opportunity to talk about those life experiences that have qualified her to speak authoritatively on writing. For example, she could tell us that she was in the military, and now she knows a lot about
You know, I listened to this on audio when I originally covered it. I didn't see this background. That's awesome.
firearms, foreign affairs, and human psychology under extreme conditions. She doesn't do this. Maybe someone hasn't told her to? It's really a missed opportunity. Let's move on to her favorite books list. Part 1 includes The Brothers Karamazov, Lavros, The Name of the Rose, Jorge Luis Borges' short stories with
Borges. I remember when on Patreon I referred to him as Horgus Borges.
The Library of Babel, and Tlon Uqbar Orbis Tetris, singled out, The Gods of Pagana, Lord of the Rings, and The Silmarillion. The first thing I notice is that all of these that I recognize are very highbrow famous classics.
You don't need a comma every time you say and, it breaks the flow and I don't like it. You don't need it every time you say and, but sometimes when you say and, you do. Sometimes when you say and, you do. And it's not a matter of like grammatical rules, it's a matter of craft. Okay? It's a matter of transforming your sentence into something that people read fluidly.
The second thing I noticed is that all of these are quite modern books. For someone that claims to love the so-called ancient, or rather timeless, the selection is very timely.
Yeah, but not if your conception of what a classic is what is referenced in the Page Master. You know, in like great books, you know, look, this is what the smart kids read over here. They read old books like The Once and Future King and Shakespeare, and it's like it's all stuff that's like Middle Ages at the latest.
Specifically, the oldest book, Brothers Karamazov, started publishing in 1879.
Like these are all modern novels. That's the point.
And Lavrus, the youngest, was published in 2012. The rest were published in the 20th century. The third thing I noticed, once I started reading what Hillary...
No, I don't think there's ever a case where you need a comma with an and. It's always optional. The and serves as the pause break. No, the and doesn't serve as the pause break. But by the way, even though it is very often an option, doesn't mean it's the right option.
Had to say about each book is how little she has to say about the books themselves. She'll glaze the book and the author, but she doesn't actually explain what the book is about, except for The Gods of Pagana. Actually, her long post on The Name of the Rose is barely even about the book, but rather how her dad got into and she got out of a cult. Of course, she does connect her story.
That's like the most boring thing. I don't even know how you get that from The Name of the Rose, to be honest with you. The Name of the Rose is wonderful. I highly recommend people give it a read. It's about language. It's about a whole bunch of really interesting things. The cult part? Like, really? Really?
Story to the book, but she says nothing about the...
Well, Lisa's super chat work.
Alyssa is a blogger super chatted $5. Are comma with and is used when two full sentences are connected together.
When two full thoughts that could be whole sentences are connected together, maybe, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. There's a lot of uses of commas. A major function of commas is to simulate the way in which you enunciate certain elements in speech, right?
Plot. Only how the Watson character, the clueless innocent Adso, was relatable to her. Perhaps she kenned him, so to speak. Usually a book review will give a summary of the book. Instead, Hillary summarizes the dynamic between two characters.
Oh, Richard wants to call in. How about that? Right now, I haven't even finished the video. Heidi ho, how are you doing?
Okay, I'll wait. I'll be quiet for the most part. I'm just here to respond to some of the chatters on grammar.
Hey, it's fine by me. It means I get to sit back and not do any work.
Yes, exactly.
Do you want me to stream the window for you?
I'm watching the stream.
Okay, how about I just share the screen so you can just see it in real time so you know where we're actually at. Although I think the latency is pretty low.
Okay.
Look, it's there if you want it, okay? You can mute it. You can just look directly if you want.
Hold on.
This is Richard, by the way. This is the weird goat fellow. By the way, explain this for me, would you? And what the hell is with his incredibly bad button job?
So it's like supposed to be like a half tuck.
Well, it's clearly not because you look that collar. Okay, I'm just telling you, as someone who wears button-up clothes all the time, and I have to correct myself when I leave the house frequently. The fact that these collars are like there, but the buttons are like there, this person buttoned the buttons in the wrong holes.
You're right, it does look like that.
No, it is that. Look at that collar. Look how the button. Also, why are the buttons under the collar? Who puts buttons under a collar? This whole wardrobe makes no sense, Richard. What the hell? 0 out of 10 video. What a hack. Okay,
I
here.
apologize. I apologize deeply
Well,
for my misdeeds in the wardrobe department.
hey, don't apologize to me. Apologize to them.
Close, but not
yes,
quite.
my viewers.
And honestly, it's not entirely convincing that she read and understood the book.
And now it's like flipped sides. Now it's flipped. Look at what the buttons are. The buttons are here. Now they're over there. What is this bullshit? The fuck is this? No
The ears also
continuity.
got a lot smaller.
You're gonna criticize the
don't pay
second
attention to
story's.
that.
You're gonna criticize the second story's commas with a button job like that. Jesus H Christ.
Echo, the author of Fascism, has really diverse works and is steeped in postmodernism, especially with The Name of the Rose and the Echo book that I've read, travels in hyperreality, which is about tourist attractions from the middle of nowhere, USA. It's meaningful to explain how the book affected me, but that's not enough. The discussion of the book should also put it into context in history or culture, or convince the readers to check out the book. Hillary just yaps about herself. And I'm not saying that I'm convinced she hasn't read the book, or that The Name of the Rose is irrelevant to her
By
getting
the way, I love this avatar set you've got. This is actually really good.
out of a cult.
Thank
After all, it promotes tolerance and skepticism to religious dogma. My point is more that she doesn't seem to know how to write a useful book review. Relatedly, if this list of books is LLM generated, she probably hasn't generated a review or summary. The grammar is actually too bad for it to be GPT. The books here are so related.
Now I disagree a little bit, and I'm going to say why. But I don't think you're wrong. But here's why I disagree a little bit for it to be too bad for it to be ChatGPT. You're what? In your like mid-20s? You don't mind me asking?
Early 20s.
Early 20s. Okay. I'm in my mid-30s. So when I was in school, we had Wikipedia. We didn't have LLMs. So how do you cheat? Do you just copy the Wikipedia page? Oh no. No, you copy the Wikipedia page and then you disagree with it in ways that are incorrect. Why? Because now it's perfectly valid but well informed, and also you can't be accused of copying the thesis from the Wikipedia article. So one of the things that you might do if you want to, disguise your material as being like real, as opposed to being ChatGPT, and you have very low standards for scholarship and you have no sense of pride in your actual written output, is you might actually write stuff intentionally badly to cover up the fact that you're getting the actual intellectual content from the internet. Maybe. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that's a possibility that constantly is in my head. Because like in this medium in particular, like you've got so many people who are just champing at the bit, including yours truly, to like find like the particular instance that sort of shows like, okay, this is the thing that they're doing. And you would use errors in this case as a defense for the honesty of your work. Maybe, possibly. But I think you're right in this particular case, because I think that's a level of forethought that she just doesn't demonstrate. So I think she probably, this is my off the cuff read of second story. I think she's probably using AI for her scripts. And I think she's sort of like making peace with that very quickly because it's getting her a lot of money. And I think that I think she also attempted to write stuff. And I think she attempted to pretend that she was a lot smarter than she was, as many of us do. Many of us will, especially like when we first start out, we'll have like these like, maybe we'll come out of university or whatever. We'll have these like super pretentious notions of well, we'll have read some stuff and we'll be super proud of ourselves for it, but we haven't read as much as we actually should have. But we'll think, oh, well, we'll get there eventually. We can just say it. And I didn't do this, but the temptation is always there. It's like, you can just assimilate like someone's critique or some problem that someone opens up to your thought process already. And you can say, oh, it kind of actually still works. And then you just sort of like, you're banking on like having read it in the future. And I could see something like that going on. Yeah. Sorry, you sound like you're about to say something.
Yes. I haven't AI investigated her videos at all, and it's possible that there could be some going on with her fiction work, The Blueprints, as well.
Yeah.
I kind of doubt it though, because why would you become a writer if you're not gonna write Oh, who are the medieval people in the background? Those are the two protagonists.
That's
of
from
Name of
the
Rose
Sean
movie.
Connery version of The Name of the Rose, which is, by the way, not a good adaptation of the book, but it's still a pretty good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What I suspect is that she's using AI, or perhaps the one that's built into YouTube, the one that like gives you topic suggestions, what to make videos about.
Yeah.
Um,
I can see that.
because the ideas she has are very like generic in a
Yes.
way that a human I feel like might struggle to come up with, because they're so impersonal. Like for one person to
yeah.
care so deeply about all
Yes.
these varieties of issues, I think is unlikely.
Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. Not a bad comparison, actually. I think it's kind of deliberate. I think I
Yes,
vaguely
it
remember
is.
reading something about that being deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
And-
Also is Watson, except for with W
Yes.
and N removed. So
oh, fuck, you're right. God damn it. It's
that's
coming
what
back to me.
Wikipedia says.
Have you read The Name of the Rose?
No, I have not. I've
Okay.
actually barely really heard of it.
It's by Umberto Eco. It's very good. I think it's his best one. I read it like 10 years ago because I had a medieval politics professor who I really liked. I've assimilated a lot of his mannerisms randomly for YouTube. People don't even realize this. He talked about The Name of the Rose once or twice in class, and I ended up looking it up. We back in the day, we were all like super confused, as to, like what his religious affiliations were. I think we ended up falling on he was like Jewish atheist or something, which would be really funny if he's seeing this and we're wrong. But it's really good. Umberto Eco is really good. Unfortunately, everybody on YouTube has only basically read the fascism paper, which is lame. It's not what Umberto Eco is about. But The Name of the Rose, Foucault's Pendulum, they're very, very. He's a very good writer. He's dead now, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Probably.
I think he's dead now.
Yeah, I've read, of course, Fascism, and I've read Travels in Hyperreality, which I really enjoyed.
I haven't read Travels in Hyperreality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shit, he is dead. Damn it. He died 2016. I didn't realize it was that long ago. Wow. Time flies.
Yeah, somebody died in my postmodernism class very recently, like the year that I took it. But I don't quite remember who it was.
Oh, like a writer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not in your... Okay.
No.
Okay.
It to one another, especially The Name of the Rose.
Yeah. Maybe it was
and
Rorty.
The library.
No, Rorty died a while ago.
Oh.
Rorty died in like... I think Rorty died before I was in... Yeah, Rorty died in 2007. He died before I was in university.
Mm-hmm.
Babel.
Jameson is great
and
too,
similar that they
as
don't
off.
seem LLM.
I don't know why we're asking Jameson, but yes.
I don't know either.
We
It's
like
really
Jameson.
weird. Okay, we're playing the video.
Mm-hmm.
More so like an expression of taste. You guys can argue with me on this. I'm no authority. Next, let's go over the second story, the YouTube channel.
Oh!
Unless she's hidden older videos,
Okay,
Hillary
Jameson
started a
died
mere
recently.
year ago with her negative review of Oppenheimer. This video is nearly an hour long and has 53,000 views. Impossible numbers for her first video? I don't know, honestly.
Okay, I will disagree with this. It's not necessarily your first video. Sometimes when people have a video that takes off, they hide their other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that this first video is actually one that's, she's like 10 videos in. This one took off. She's cleaning it up because she might have been a lot worse before. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she was. Wow, her hair was like that. Damn. That is,
Mm-hmm.
she made some good decisions.
She
I'll
looks-
say that.
I kind of like this look. It's like
It's more authentic.
Anastasia Steele.
It's like I like the lighting of the room. It's less like it's giving less cis philosophy to it. It's less like it's less fake. Like the positioning of all of her stuff. Like I've got a keycard keyboard as well, and I love it. But like the positioning of her desk is not one that would ever work. You'd never work at it. Like the thing about my set is I actually work in these conditions. which is probably why my back's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's so artificial. And it's just like, I feel bad for her in a way, because it's like, is that Midnight in Chernobyl there? Oh, it is right there. Midnight in Chernobyl. Right there in that little.
I wanted you to investigate her bookshelf.
I want to as well. I can't. I guarantee you she hasn't read that. Although that's a hardcover of Midnight in Chernobyl. It's probably actually worth something. How much is that going on Amazon right now? Hang on, give me a sec. My apologies. This is important. Okay.
While you're doing that, I'll talk about commas for briefly.
Okay, do it.
Okay. All right.
Oh, it's only 30
first of
bucks.
all,
Not too bad. Okay, sorry, as you were.
Yeah, when you connect two complete sentences with a comma, that's called comma splicing, and it's a no-no. And you have to put a comma before "and" if you're connecting two complete sentences, because comma space "and" is functionally a period.
People need to understand.
shorthand.
Yeah, people need to understand the purpose of punctuation is not to make the sentence intelligible as writing. It's to make it translational into speech. Largely, because like there are lots of older forms of writing that don't have punctuation. If you ever read anything, like I'm from an apologetics background. If you ever read anything about like ancient Hebrew, no vowels, no punctuation. There's a whole lot of like weird stuff. And the reason why these things are added is not because they couldn't express things without them. It's because you couldn't, like, I mean, actually, no, you couldn't express things without them. What they're expressing is not like intellectual content. It's quite literally like, this is my intonation as I am writing this. Imagine this is like being spoken. This is how you're supposed to hear this in your head as you read.
Like exclamation points.
Exactly, yeah. And there's a big difference, as you know, between 1 exclamation point and 3 exclamation points. 3 exclamation points is emphasis. 1 exclamation point is you're a douchebag.
This video is really standard. She starts by going over
Another-
basic storytelling
It's
principles.
interesting because in Russian, the comma rules are very strict. You're not allowed to put them where you're pausing in speech at all.
Apparently modern
It's
Hebrew
just-
doesn't have
it's-
vowels either. Those poor bastards. Sorry, as you're saying?
Yeah, I was basically done. Yeah, maybe that's one reason that I'm particularly strict about vowels. Sorry, not vowels, about commas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's a weird, judgmental, conservative bitch. Don't use that. Don't talk about... Okay, fellas. The mind war is to not become conservative while fighting conservatives, because if you become conservative while fighting conservatives, guess what? The conservatives won. They just feel really gay about it. That was a joke. But seriously, don't call conservative women bitches, because that's what they want you to do. Don't do that. If you call conservative women bitches, you're going to call other women bitches who aren't conservative, because they're going to have some family resemblance in terms of tone. And by the way, your internalized misogyny from your culture is going to be inflecting who you pick out as being conservative. Don't do that. You are what you eat.
Balancing number of characters with narrative complexity.
Sunday, is it okay if I
Nolan's
call
style-
men bitches? I think it's kind of funny, like baby girl.
I don't condone it, but I understand it, and I sympathize. Is that enough? No? All right.
of including non-linear narratives. Still, you can see bits of her anti-intellectualism even in these normal bits. She says that the tertiary timeline is filmed in black and white for no particular reason, and that the dispersal of the timelines are random, without really justifying her conclusion. Still, if you take these facts for granted, her thesis makes sense. After watching the first 20 minutes, I don't really disagree with anything she said. Granted, I haven't seen Oppenheimer, so I might disagree with her premises or her conclusion, but her argument itself is valid. She's also not making any overly strong,
Well, that is stupid. What is?
unqualified
Elaborate.
claims, really. She uses framers like, in my humble opinion, and Nolan could have, which are less bold than the ridiculous, bombastic statements she makes in her newer, rage-baitier videos, such as
I mentioned earlier, we live in a world in which objective morality
See, nobody works with this. Look at this giant ass teacup that's empty. Look at this keyboard that's like way at the end of her desk. And the keyboard is facing a screen that is obviously not where the camera is located. So all of this is not a set owned by someone who actually works at this set. And that bugs me. That bugs me a lot. It's like, it's lies. These books were picked out because of their shape. She doesn't work with these books. These aren't real. I don't know why she has 2 different sizes of plastic skulls on them either. That's very strange.
She used to only have one of the skulls, and then I think she only had the small one, but the bigger one is more human, and it works better in the composition.
Yeah, unless you have an actual human skull, don't do this. You can get an actual human skull. That's okay. Davis Arini has one. Nobody cared about him having one. It's fine. You know Davis Arini?
I don't know who that is now.
Oh, you missed out. That was a weird phase of right-wing YouTube. Everybody laughed at him. It was great. He was like, he looked like, oh, what's his name? What's that guy's name from the bald guy with the goatee from Command and Conquer?
I don't know what Command and Conquer is either.
Reality is such a controversial concept that
Kids today have no culture.
people will fly into
I think
a rage
Lisa's
at
right.
the
It's probably an adult skull and the child.
That's very unfortunate.
very suggestion that objective morality might exist.
I have watched This Is Why We Never Got Another Lord of the Rings and The Absolute Degeneracy of Modern Writing. And I watched Anthony Gramaglia react to Her Modern Villains Are Pitiful and Impotent. The latter 2 videos I consumed while in transit, and they made me too angry. I was not able to finish them. I have finished the Lord of the Rings video, but that might have been because I was asleep. I don't recall liking it very much, though. One thing about her new videos, which are anti-modern,
Pain, that's it.
is that her favorite books are like the epitome of modern, with the exception of the postmodern Name of the Rose and Borges. If she knew that 2 of her favorite books were postmodern, I wonder if she'd start promoting deconstructionist literature, like Watchmen. Hey, the protagonist of Watchmen is kind of an anti-hero. Let's click on her anti-video and see if she'd like Rorschach.
Astute listeners will probably note that all of this sounds a great deal like postmodernist literary
She probably likes Rorschach because Rorschach is basically a Nazi.
analysis. And you're right, it does kind of sound like that a little.
I don't know.
But it's-
Maybe
He's kind of a Nazi.
there's not
He's the
not
Nazi.
that much evidence.
He's the Nazi who figures it out, sort of, but he's basically a Nazi. Like it's kind of the genius of the writing of Rorschach, is that like one of the things I like about Moore's comics generally is that he writes like very genuinely from a reactionary standpoint, and he incorporates that into and it's like anyone who reads and you don't get this from the film. Anyone who reads like Watchmen, which is really good, by the way, it's the best Moore one in my opinion. V for Vendetta is it's fine. Watchmen is really good. But like I don't think she read Watchmen. I think she watched the movie, if she knows anything about it. But like, as far as like anti-heroes are concerned, it's I don't think like when reactionaries talk about anti-heroes, they aren't talking about people who are protagonists but have reactionary values. They are talking about people who are protagonists, but they don't do the Batman thing and go, "Oh, you're killing millions of civilians, Joker, but I will never descend to your level by preventing you from killing more civilians. I'll just..." And this is one of the genius parts of is it The Dark Knight Returns? I can't remember, but it's the one where Batman paralyzes the Joker, and the Joker actually has to euthanize himself by twisting his own neck just with his neck muscles. And it's like, I don't think you're a good guy, Batman. I don't think you're actually like showing mercy. I think you just have a weird fetish for keeping people in a perpetual state of consciousness. Anyways.
Yeah.
Not postmodernism because of one single crucial difference. Postmodern
I think
literary
part of it
analysis
is that I have a mental block that prevents me from like labeling my favorite character as a Nazi. I'm trying to get over it, but also
Okay, Rorschach. Okay, to be clear, Rorschach isn't a Nazi precisely because Rorschach is actually like. Rorschach is the reactionary who takes it seriously enough that he eventually works himself out of it. Right? Because like the thing about fascists
Works
is
himself out of being a Nazi or out of being a reactionary?
well, in this respect, right? So a lot of people in conservative households, they're raised by conservative parents. They're raised in the cult of personality, often of their father, for example. And they will carry a lot of that into adulthood. However, they take it really seriously. Some people take it really seriously. They take it so seriously that it actually causes friction with people who are sort of comfortable with the hypocrisy. Sort of like how in like Christian conservative circles, people will be sort of weirdly fine with fornication provided it's heterosexual, right? And you'll see a whole lot of people sort of like behaving in ways that aren't really appropriate given like the kinds of teachings that are sort of prevalent in the community, but they're kind of fine with it because they're also like super enthusiastic and gung-ho about like ministry culture. I don't know if you have any point of reference for that, but I think sort of like there are people who are going to be hyper conservative at a younger age who will then sort of learn their way out because they take it so seriously that they actually pursue threads. It's one of the reasons, by the way, why like AI writing is so typically bland, is because nobody pursues threads when they're running with AI. It's always like a distillation of like tempered mid points by all perspectives, which humans don't do. So
AI writing feels really dreamlike. Like it feels like a consolidation of a bunch of random things that you've already experienced and you're already familiar with. So
AI fiction writing does.
Interesting to me.
AI non-fiction writing is like, it's like you took it seriously enough to get to this level of depth, but you didn't go any further. That's kind of impossible. Because the thing about AI writing is that it typically has a level of depth because it's like been farming off of Reddit. It has the same depth as a whole lot of people who were serious enough about this stuff to be writing like effort posts about like philosophy and things and literature and whatnot before AI was even available to sort of automate that process. But it doesn't commit itself to any of these positions, and it doesn't really follow them through because it's distilling, like it's looking for the consensus. AI basically preaches the controversy on every issue.
At SmithBlack5945 super chatted $6. I love hearing about Sunday's dark days when he thought C.S. Lewis was a good philosopher and not
my God.
overrated. Drama.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that, okay?
Brings the preconceived idea to the work of literature. So, for instance, a postmodern student of literature will go into, say, the Chronicles of Narnia, for instances of the patriarchy occurring within the mind and contemporary world of C.S. Lewis.
I hate this so much. Like it's actually kind of
you're not streaming, so I don't know what you mean.
I'm not streaming. What do you mean?
You're not
did I stop
streaming
showing my
to me,
screen?
So I forgot.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
so
you did.
sorry. Let me rewind. I don't know why that turned off.
Literature will go into, say, the work of literature. So, for instance, a postmodern student of literature will go into, say, the Chronicles of Narnia, for instances of the patriarchy occurring within the mind and contemporary world of C.S. Lewis.
It's like, no, they don't. No, they don't.
Actually, kind of the opposite of what they do, but okay.
I mean, they probably wouldn't be reading C.S. Lewis to begin with because C.S. Lewis is kind of garbage. But leaving that aside, like C.S. Lewis is not good literature, guys. By the way, C.S. Lewis is what if Jesus was a furry? Actually, that's basically C.S. Lewis. Leaving that aside, you wouldn't look for patriarchy in the writings of C.S. Lewis. You would simply observe that the men get swords and the women get healing items or ranged weapons, and the implications of that in particular, namely, men are the site of action and women are bodily maintenance. They facilitate real decisions and real human stuff, and that's it. Like that's where that would lie, and the interest would die at that stage because there's nothing else to C.S. Lewis really, except for Warm and Fuzzies. He was basically just pre-J.K. Rowling. There's no content there. Like there's nothing to talk about. And like the
Perhaps it would be
yeah.
sorry.
No, go on, please.
Perhaps Perhaps it would be like analyzing the misogyny of just a random person because it's just what's prevalent in society.
Yeah, sure, but it's like there's no interest there, and it's one of the things that really frustrates me because like when you actually read like feminist authors, you actually like pay attention to what they're doing. It's super philosophically interesting. They aren't just interested in, oh, this is unfair to women. They're talking specifically about like, oh, following like the type of critical analysis inaugurated by people like Spinoza and Nietzsche. This is how like cultural arrangements of sex-derived divisions of labor have infiltrated like our intuitions about human psychology. As one example, like that's the level they're operating at. That's why it's critical literature. Nobody is going into a literature class and going, okay, class, we're now going to look at examples of how C.S. Lewis in particular was sexist, because nobody cares. He's dead.
Right.
Present Sunday, you shout out Richard's content, but you never shout out the channel. I literally did multiple times. You just weren't paying attention. It's called Richard Discord. It's on YouTube.
But a genuine student of literature will simply examine the work of the author and seek to learn from that how the author's world and life might have contributed to that work.
That's funny, because that's actually what a feminist critical theorist would do. It's actually kind of explicitly what they would do. But they wouldn't consider their life to be like, oh, what are the experiences that he had that we can derive from his Wikipedia page? Oh, was he in a war? Oh, well, maybe Tolkien, you know, didn't like war all that much, which is why Frodo's sad at the end of it. It's like, no, not really.
No, instead she takes postmodernism to mean feminist literary analysis, a perspective that decides a conclusion, then searches for evidence to support it. Inductive reasoning. She doesn't know anything. Postmodernism is doubting the objective, anti-enlightenment sentiment, parody and pastiche. Hillary Lane is a grifter. Her videos are...
Is that her name, Hillary Lane?
Yep.
How did I know
Lane
that?
with a Y.
Layne?
Yes.
Weird.
Are intentionally inflammatory and slanderous because she knows that drives engagement. You know that joke about the fastest way to get someone to explain something properly on the
Who was on Chat with Sunday? That is the narrator for this video.
internet is to explain it wrong and then wait for someone to correct you? People just can't resist correcting others, asserting their superiority to others. Hillary wants you to try. She wants you
Why the pigs? Because pigs eat slop.
to try and prove her wrong in her comments section. I commented on her women's literature video, telling her her attempt at neuroscience was just unsourced word salad, and she responded to me within a few hours. She wants you to put her face on your thumbnail. She has a recognizable orange bob. It's great for business. It's pretty clear to those of us that are educated that Hillary isn't principled. That's why she contradicts herself so much. She's both for and against postmodernism. She's both a moral constructionist and a moral objectivist. She performs feminism by saying his or her, but she's also a gender essentialist that sees women as too delicate to handle erotic literature. How do we respond to grifters? We take away their fuel. We report them, deplatform them, and ignore them. We don't try to engage in dialogue with them. They're vampires. Their goal isn't to be rational or to live up to some ideal. It's to make money. Giving her attention isn't just pointless, it's counterproductive. One thing that's consistent with her is her devaluing higher education and intellectual institutions.
You and I need to spend like an hour just going over your video editor and locating your audio normalization op feature.
I think you've located my video editor.
She must be happy that humanities departments across the country are getting fucking bitch slapped and gutted. Some of us had to wait till college to pursue our true interests and had their lives changed by a few philosophy professors. Her anti-intellectualism is harmful, and I'm not convinced that a few lazy videos fact-checking her are enough to disprove her points about intellectuals being no better than her. I'm not convinced that those of you that have made videos about her are principled enough to be fighting for intellectualism, just because you haven't stooped to her level of making shit up and calling it objective truth, or common sense. You don't even claim to be intellectuals. You're virtue signaling to your audience. You're here to prove that you're superior to an obvious bad faith troll. The bar is on the floor. To protect schools, it's not enough to criticize anti-intellectual grifters. Even if you're clickbaiting, you have to provide a counter-argument to her. You have to guide the viewers in the right direction, towards books. Why would one want to be intelligent? Because it's power. Maybe we need to talk to the dum-dums the same way gymfluencers talk to non-athletic people.
Horrifically, this is Jordan Peterson's strategy.
Oh no.
He actually basically says this.
I mean, does it work?
No, God no, because they assume they already have it because they're watching Jordan Peterson, which is the catch.
We need to get people to
That's
read
like
nonfiction.
assuming that you're strong because you watch gym content creators.
That's
You
exactly
need
what
to
it
build up
is.
that muscle yourself.
Yeah, but the thing is, because the muscle is mental, they think that because they're watching the guy who says, "Oh, you gotta build up your mental muscles. That's a superpower." Because they do that, it's like they're already there. It's like imagining you're at the gym and feeling like I'm gonna go to the. Imagine if your New Year's resolution was 10 years of like dedicatedly going to the gym, right?
With the democratization of information, at least in the global north, there are too many confident idiots spreading misinformation on the internet. It's not enough to correct second story. If you really care about the state of the world, you need to convince the audience to educate themselves.
Sunday, why do you think right wing always so popular compared to left wing grift? Because the right wing generally is validating all of the emotional resistances to having the way of life that was imprinted on you by your parents challenged. It's the center of gravity. That's why. I gotta run to the washroom. Do you want to keep chatting with chat while I'm gone?
Okay, sure.
All right, have fun.
Let me see what they're saying. Left-wing grift does exist. Hmm. Who is Jason Blaha? Actually, I don't have any examples of left-wing grifters off the top of my head, but I'm sure Sunday does. I'm thinking of people who will take advantage of, for example, like identity politics or social justice issues and be like, you have to donate to me for the cause. There's also just every content creator to a degree being a grift because they'll like make low quality content and they need to financially sustain the channel, of course. So they're taking advantage of the anxiety that the news are producing and basically taking a cut out of the profits that should be delegated to independent news organizations and reporters and that type of thing. And academics as well. Yeah, Vosh, Hassan, Bad Empanada.
So I just got a horrific update from YouTube. We just added one episode to Midnight Oil, the podcast, on my channel. And it's a VOD called There's Oil Under That Studio C, which is a joke based on a Muppet movie. It's adding VODs to my podcast playlist because it has the word oil in it. That's just YouTube doing that.
I don't understand.
I don't either. Just stop changing your platform, YouTube, you freaking losers.
Yeah,
Obviously,
they should.
the
I feel like
problem is
there's people that, you know how there are people that advocate for building highways are just there because, they're like trying to keep themselves alive.
Oh, that's exactly what's happening, but there's a flip side to this as well, which is like, I like they aren't just trying to keep themselves alive. I think it is like the AI hype part of YouTube in particular is just it's trying to like adding stuff to playlists. It's like, who's the audience here? Is the AI the audience? Like, why are you automatically adding stuff to playlists? That doesn't help me. If I wanted that in that playlist, I'd put it there myself. Like, screw off.
she's uncorrected or uncritiqued. Anthony Muglia can crank out videos rapid fire.
Yeah, no, I'm not even joking. Here, let me show you this. Actually, it's actually kind of wild. I'll take a screenshot so I can just show you my studio page. Yeah, here we go. Like, you could earn 68% to 81% more, really? And all I would have to do is just make my audience hate me forever. Okay. We'll call that Autopod. We'll put that into one-offs. Boom. And it's like, what the hell? We added one episode to Midnight Oil 17 minutes ago. Why are you adding stuff to my playlist? Guys, I didn't ask you to do this. Nobody asked you to do this. Why? And like the VOD they added was there's oil under that Studio C. That's not a podcast. That's a VOD from a live stream. They put it here because it has oil in the title. Like,
Is it your video?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Still stupid.
By just recording himself reacting to her. This isn't what we need, though. We need the public to act. We need a few thousand of the hundreds of thousands of self-righteous jackasses watching Crimes New Romans videos to crack open a book, or to start writing their own book already.
Wait, Sunday, how can it be added on its own? Aren't playlists user controlled? Yeah, you'd think so. Apparently not, though, because they said we added it. I didn't add it. Just YouTube's just adding shit to my playlists.
A bunch of the comments I read aren't really responses to Crime's video, but rather their reaction to Hillary's videos that they felt emboldened to share after.
I really like this point, by the way. This is actually really smart and really useful. And I noticed this too. A lot of people who respond to these videos that are like criticizing these right-wing grifters, they aren't actually engaging with the contents of the video. They're just like, oh, it's fine. Finally, someone's taking this asshole down a peg, but they haven't paid attention at all to the actual content or if it's doing anything. It's like when people watch oh shoot, what's his name? Who's that like guy on Thorazine who hosted the Destiny Norman Finkelstein debate? Was Lex Friedman. It's like when people go into Lex Friedman's videos, they're like, oh wow, it's so awesome to see all these people having this civil discussion. Like it's an achievement that they're using language. It's like, wow, I didn't know you guys could talk. Damn.
I hate that compliment very much.
Yes. It's like when people go onto my videos and they're like, oh, this is so brilliant, man. This is the most genius. It's like, this is ingenious. Like, why do you think you'd know? You think you're smarter than me? Is that what you're saying? And the answer is yes. That's what they're doing. And it's like, it's just,
Yeah, it's also
yeah.
it's really a shame that they're not engaging with his video, because I feel like there's quite a lot of content to go over in terms of the literacy crisis. Like, people could talk about their own experience in school and their own experience with literacy. Like, they could say, I also have not been
Yes.
reading books because I think it's too hard.
I
Or
think
they
there's
could say,
also,
I read books and I
yeah.
think it's important. Yeah.
I also see a lot of people who have like really strong opinions about the literacy crisis literally because of the content they're consuming online and not because of any actual like experience or investigation of it. And I've had arguments with people about this, and it's like a lot of people, for example, have been making videos about how kids aren't even reading whole books anymore. And it's like, okay, what do you mean by that? Because when you're talking about whole books, like, do you mean they aren't reading 300-page volumes? Do you mean they aren't reading full essays? Because like I've got a book here, like just as an example, which I have to cover the cover of. Thanks, Elizabeth. Volatile Bodies by Elizabeth Gross. And she flat out describes in the beginning, it's like, hey, this is a collection of essays and they're incoherent. You read 30 pages, you write a complete writing. Is that not reading a whole book? Does that not count somehow? If you read like the first canto of like Dante's Inferno, does that not count as reading anymore? Are you stupid because you didn't read the whole thing all the way through? I don't think that's true. And especially like as more and more stuff is out there, like you are not going to be able to read whole books unless if you actually want like a wide cross section of everything that's there. It takes too much time. That's not feasible. I'm more concerned about people learning how to read critically than reading whole books for a number of reasons. Among them being like, let's take an example of like a whole book at like a low level. Okay. Let's talk about like George R. R. Martin. Okay. Let's say you wanted to talk about George R. R. Martin's writing. And you wanted to take like George R. R. Martin's voice as a whole. George R. R. Martin has been writing the Song of Ice and Fire for like what, 30, 40 years? The person who writes A Dance with Dragons is not the person who wrote A Game of Thrones. They're not the same thing. This is a person with decades and decades of life experience between these volumes. That vision is gone and altered beyond recognition. You're not reading the same book. And it's like, are people reading the entire series? That's an interesting question. Does it count as reading if you're not reading an entire series? Because I got some news for you. A lot of the books that you think are books, they were published as serials and then later compiled as books. Because book, as it turns out, doesn't mean anything. It's an arbitrary designation for, and here's a chunk of writing, and here's a chunk of writing. Oh, you read Moby Dick? Did you read the one with the final ending? Did you read Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man before reading Ulysses? It's like, what are you doing? Anyways.
For seeing somebody already agree with them. These people aren't motivated to do anything. They already agree with you. They already hate Second Story. They aren't looking to be challenged. They're not intellectuals. Their brains are asleep. You need to wake them up.
Tell the truth. Have you actually played Earthbound?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I got this from a sound effects website.
Well, they stole it from Nintendo. This is an Earthbound music. This is when you're fighting a Guardian boss.
It doesn't sound like boss fight music.
It's boss fight music. It's really good boss fight music, actually.
Okay, by the way, I'm looking at this Crimes New Roman video
I didn't play it either. I watched my partner play it on Switch.
for research. And look at this. The second story, more like, please stop, I beg you, Hillary Lane, what on earth are you doing? These white women are out of control. Mind you, this is a white man. Look at him. These white women are out of control. I mean...
So did you just assume his gender?
I did.
Unbelievable.
I don't like this. I feel like if you can't make fun of white women as a white
Hey,
man.
look at me over here and your recommends. I forgive you.
Yeah, man. You know, like it's just sexism. And I mean, I don't take it too seriously. Like we all laugh a little bit. You know, play the world's.
This guy's critique is good. I think this kind of content is actually more harmful than the second story's content. For the simple reason that I actually agree with what Richard's saying here. This is the grift. Like, having people react to her and her being like a high-profile right-wing content creator because there's reactions, that's the grift. And as far as like fact-checking is concerned, she doesn't care about the facts. The viewers don't care about the facts. They do not care. And you have to look at what stuff does, not at what it says. It's like with Bad Empanada's videos. A whole lot of people like to say, "Oh, Bad Empanada, like he's crazy on his live channel. He's crazy on Twitter, but his video essays are really good." I read them. I watched them rather. And they generally amount to, "Oh, I found out that this guy quoted this thing wrong." And it's like there's no content here. Like the viewer is coming away from this knowing what they already know, that the person the video is responding to is dumb, but they're not learning anything, but they're leaving with the impression that they know more. And that's bad. That's actually really bad. I think convincing people erroneously that they know more for not doing any work is a bad thing. I think that's actually more harmful, because the people who are watching Second Story's videos were already not learning, and they already don't care about learning. The people who are watching Crimes New Roman might actually care about learning, but now they think they have without doing that.
He's also boosting her because people will watch videos without even knowing who they're about because it's just drama.
Well, it's funny because a lot of people mentioned this in the comments of your video as well. Like, there are people like, "Oh, I didn't even hear about this until you mentioned
One person,
Second Story."
yes.
Yeah. And it's like, well, it's not so much that. Like, here's where I would disagree a little bit. Crimes New Roman has 36,000 subscribers. I think this video has how many views? I can't really see, but not terribly many compared to what Second Story has in general. So is he boosting
102,000?
102,000? Yeah, so he's like, I wouldn't say he's boosting her, but he is boosting engagement for her. So it's not so much that people are like unaware of her and more aware of him and he's like giving her his platform. It's more just it's creating the buzz that she wants to make her channel thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Actually, most of her videos have under 100,000 views.
Why is this bad and Richard's video is not? Because Richard, the critique is not that mentioning the Second Story is bad. The critique that treating the Second Story's videos as if they merit a response is creating the activity around her channel that is the basis actually of her business model. That's the strategy. So, like, you're not undermining her by going, "Oh, I proved her wrong. I went through her video, guys. Watch this." It's like, well, no, she wants to be the main character of the discussion. It doesn't really matter if you're right or not, because people who watch her channel and agree with it, they are emotionally attached to her conclusions and to her aesthetic. They don't really care about arguments against it. They want to enjoy it. So they will side with her regardless, and it will increase her profile. So there's no winning here. And it's one of the things that, like, a lot of the channels that I have a lot of respect for actually have this strategy where it's like they will just educate their audiences and they will not acknowledge the existence of these people. They'll talk about them in the abstract sometimes, but they don't give them, like, a profile of relevance, right?
Smallest violin for white women, but
I don't think they care about boosting. Okay, sure, but who cares?
come on, like when it's coming from somebody who's
This is a critique made out of rage. What are you referring to? Oh, you mean Crimes New Roman's rage? No, it's not. If you think that people on YouTube are like just, motivated by passion, I'm sorry. Videos take time and planning, and you are thinking of the revenue they generate. Especially if you're a relatively small channel like this one. This is 36,000 views. 100,000 views, that's a big deal for this channel, okay? This is like thousands and thousands of dollars. Is what this video is worth. They're not like, no, I'm sorry. YouTubers are not like you. You're not YouTubers. YouTubers are weird. It's like assuming that you have like common cause and common experience with politicians and actors and journalists. It's like, no, you don't have the same relationship to this material as these people do, and you kind of gotta get over that. Like they have different incentives. Like I really hate when people are like, no, he just feels really strongly about this. Nobody does. The most sincere people on this platform don't. Because a condition of continuing to be on this platform and having an impact is you get numbers. Like, everybody pays attention to this. It would be foolish not to. This person is not just motivated by rage, okay? There's not like an Eren Yeager screaming montage on the background of this video. No, this guy sat down at a computer and he thought, how can I make this reach as many people as possible? And he wasn't thinking of how can I beat Second Story, because he can't. He's thinking, how can I make as much money and boost my profile as much as possible? Second Story isn't an opponent to this person, it's a business opportunity.
Who's not like a person of color. I feel like it completely loses the critical context that it's supposed to have. Like, is he actually making a criticism about how her whiteness is shielding her from accountability? Because that's what it means when we talk about white women. We talk about how they're able to get away with stuff that women of color are not able to get away with because they're held to much higher standards. They're pushed out of spaces for
This applies to any response video then? Yes! Yes, it does. It does. 100%. It applies to every response video. Like, imagine thinking, oh, this piece of journalism was written from a pure heart who has never thought of business at all. It's like, no, they got published. They were thinking of this their entire career. And you're a fool if you think otherwise. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. That's how it is. Like, yeah, you can make ethical decisions within the context of making response videos, but you are in that system. You know what it is that you're doing.
Smaller offenses.
If I was making videos, I want to respond to this person. You aren't making videos. Why do you suppose you'd know? Chase the Devil. Serious question. You don't make videos. Why do you think you'd have the same psychology as someone who makes videos? That's not your kind of person. You don't do that. Go ahead. Go spend hours of your life making videos. And now make your income dependent on that. Now make your way of life dependent on that. You're not going to think of it the same way. It's not how that works.
Mm-hmm. You also can't sustain an emotion for that length of time.
It's like
it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it's like the mentality of like when children see cops and they think that cops are motivated by a sense of justice. It's like, yeah, I'm sure children when they go to school and they go into like criminal what is it, criminology, they think of them, they imagine like CSI Miami, and they imagine themselves as like, you know, the Starfleet type character where it's like, yeah, they're cops, but they also read Shakespeare on the side and they care about making ethical decisions. Like, no, you're part of a brute squad that has no obligation to defend the public. And you get over that very quickly because life gets messy and you need money. That's how that works.
Yeah.
I don't think your psychology is the same as every YouTuber Sunday. No, mine is not. But just FYI, you're very, very mistaken. Chase the Devil, I want you to start making videos. I don't think you have the will to do it. I don't think you can. Because you don't have, like, A, because you haven't, but B, because when you do, you will suddenly find that your time is worth money. You will suddenly find that your fatigue is worth money. You will suddenly find that you are making decisions between who to target and who to respond to, not based on their correctness or incorrectness, but based on whether or not they have the potential for going viral, based on whether or not they raise your profile, and you will justify it to yourself in any number of ways. Like, oh, well, by raising my profile, I can make my critiques against other people like hit harder. And then you will just get lost in that. And that's what everybody does in every single job. Every single job, every single career, every single money-making venture. That's how it all works. That's why people do postdocs.
And is he just making fun of her because for being a white woman, for being a conservative? that's kind of like a problem that I have with these sorts of people. Like, they're the types of people who
Here, chase the devil. Give me the name of the content creator that you're being impulsively defensive of right now, because I don't think it's the person on the screen.
are liberals because they see it as...
Sonny, there's nothing wrong with that. Also, this is just capitalism. I mean, I would say that's something wrong with it, but leaving that aside, I'm trying to understand how you can say nobody else's motives are pure. Nobody's motives are pure. You think my motives are pure? I think my motives are pure. I'm not stupid. I think about the money my channel brings in. I have to make rent. I have to buy food. Like, I have to maintain like a certain minimum standard of health so I can like have healthy relationships with people. I am thinking about all of these things. Nobody's motives are pure. In fact, by the way, a major part of feminist thought is that the notion of pure motives is actually derived specifically from the purity of motivation that is only facilitated by the fact that you've enslaved half of your population to handle your material needs, so you don't have to think about them. Just FYI, like you're an organic being that has a stomach and has drives and has needs. Like you're not making decisions based upon what you think the thought of God is. I'm sorry.
as them being superior. Like, he sees himself as superior to this crazy, out of control white woman. He's of course an enlightened white man, liberal with tattoos, by the way, reads feminist literature. I hope my point is clear. You know what I mean? Like, it's so. Let's leave this.
Here, chase the devil. I'm gonna give you an illustration. Okay, you can call in. I actually want you to call in. If you can call in, I will concede that you have it in you to imagine what it's like being a content creator. If you can't call in, if that's stressful, then you have no psychological commonality with people who talk about this stuff on the internet with their own voice, because that's stressful. That's hard. That has an emotional and physical and material cost. It costs time. It costs spoons. Okay, you like I gotta tell you, this does not come naturally to you. The amount of stress of just holding frame when you're talking about really unsafe topics to talk about on social media. Okay, under your own voice, under your own face, it's stressful. If you can call in and make your point here, I will concede that maybe you got a point. I have a strong suspicion that you're going to be at work, or you're going to be too busy right now, or it's going to be too late at night, or you don't have a microphone. I'm just calling it right now, because that's always how it actually goes. But you're welcome.
These phrases.
I agree with everything you were saying. That's what they all say when I call them on.
To the people of color.
I'm being a dick. I'm sorry. You're fine, Chase.
I like YouTube as a medium. I don't really care about production value. In fact, I find low-budget production more creative and charming in a way.
I'm not too busy to have a mic. Call in. Yeah, I am really nice. That's true.
What I like is how the small channels I watch have unique modes of analysis. For example, Schnee is pretty good at getting his viewers to...
Who is this? I've never heard of Schnee.
He makes videos about Arcane, mostly.
Okay. Is Arcane good?
Yeah. Arcane, the first season is peak. The second season is not. He actually enjoys season 2 of Arcane. I think it's like a betrayal and total garbage and unwatchable, basically. But opinions vary. Whereas the first season is universally like adored.
Oh, what's Lisa up to? Hey, Lisa, what's up? Hello? You're in the... Lisa,
Hello,
you're
Lisa?
muted. You were in the waiting room. What's on your mind? You're muted, though. I can't hear you if you're speaking. Did you mean to go in the waiting room?
Maybe she left.
I think I'm gonna disconnect her. I don't think she meant to be in there. All right.
Read better because he guides the viewer through his full thought process. He introduces us to analytical concepts he learned in Talmud, I think, and applies them to media analysis. One that comes to mind is his distinction between what and why questions. A what question
Oh, she's back in the waiting room. Okay. Hey, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Just barely. You're a little quiet. Hang on, let me boost you. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm kind of angry at you right now because Chase the Devil is Lindsay, and she's like a really good friend of mine, and I think you're being kind of a dick to her, honestly.
Oh, is that Lindsay? Oh, hey, Lindsay.
Yes!
How you doing? I like Lindsay. She can call in. Not going to be a dick to her.
Well, it seems like you were being kind of a dick to her, that's all, and that's all I'm saying, and you know I love you more than anything, but I just getting a little verklempt. We're just getting a little verklempt. And, Richard, it's a good video. I'm just in a bitchy mood.
That's
you know,
okay.
menopause and everything.
That's okay. Hey, if people go into chat and they say things I disagree with, I'm going to respond to them as if I disagree with them. I don't know who these people are when they have like a million different like names across platforms. But also, I don't think I was being a dick to Chase/Lindsay. I think I was just saying.
I don't know, man.
No, I
don't know, man.
I was saying I was disagreeing with their point, and I think that their point is based off of a perspective that they think they share and they don't.
Also,
like if someone, for example, if I knew it was Lindsay though, like I probably wouldn't make the gesture like, oh, I don't think you're up to like going on stream and talking, because I think Lindsay has before, but I didn't know that.
Has she? I didn't know. I didn't know whether she had or not, but because I'm a.
Hey, listen, Lisa. I appreciate you coming on to defend Lindsay. Nobody's attacking Lindsay. It's okay.
Okay, and one other little thing.
You're cutting out.
No, I know that.
Hang on. Oh, hang on, Lisa. You're cutting out a little bit. Can you even hear me? Try starting from the beginning.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, try starting from the beginning there, because you cut out a little bit.
Okay. Also, another thing is, I feel bad for Kara Sue. I mean, I didn't believe anything she was saying in that about them just being bored and everything. I think, you know, being a pedophile is not something you do when you're bored or something. But like, I still feel bad that you timed her out.
Well, she was pushing
that's
it.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I understand. She was pushing it, and I asked her to stop, and she wasn't stopping. So that's all. She's timed out till tomorrow. That's fine. I was gonna untime her out. I just can't figure out how. I think I'm kind of committed to the latest one I put.
Oh, okay. Well, now that I've like done all my female rage, I'll let you get back to what you're doing.
Okay.
And I appreciate you listening to me.
No worries. Take it easy.
You too. Bye.
Jem says we all held a vote and we decided you were being a bit of a dick. This isn't a democracy, Jem. I think you're under a misapprehension.
Where one tries to define a symbol or motif. In Chinese framework, a why question is asked second because it will explain the application of the what according to said question. For example, if I wanted to apply this concept to something familiar to me, I might ask, what is the Qingming blade?
I didn't make much money because I was doing it out of loneliness. Not gonna lie, it's cringe. I wasn't well. Oh, I didn't realize you made YouTube videos.
Then I'd ask,
No.
why did the blade
They
choose
said
the
something
Xinhua?
earlier.
Oh, it's responding to... Oh, yeah, you're fine. It's okay. Chill. You're all good.
And my answer would have something to do with how the sword's curse has to be overcome by someone with a strong will and sense of justice, so it would choose someone pure of heart. I'm a former patron of Schnee's because I think he encouraged his audience to think and analyze more productively. He's a good teacher. I also like that he's community-oriented. We used to have monthly calls, and he'd often offer to help any of us that were interested in starting our own channels. Now, I'm not really active in his community, but I'd like to think that if I still was, he'd be helping me now. I don't like YouTubers that chase easy topics, easy views. I hate that every channel based around a live service game has to make the same video, reading the patch notes, or discussing the new character whenever the new update rolls around. Second Story is just another one of these new updates. Her videos have hundreds of thousands of views, with a large proportion being hate watchers. I don't think that anyone's waiting for the verdict to roll around on her, though. The people watching Crimes New Romans videos just want to watch her get spanked, with fact and logic. It's spite. No one needs crimes to enlighten them. This is why I think his videos slop, no matter how well researched or produced. He picked low-hanging fruit, and its juice was sweet. 109,000 views on a channel with 1/3 of Second Story subscribers is pretty good. And who exactly benefits but crimes? By comforting his viewers by merely validating their preconceived notions that Second Story sucks, he's making it less likely that they do anything. Foreign Man did some voice acting for crimes in this video. Foreign has low-key moved onto a slop channel, Foreign Fridays, where he makes weekly videos critiquing some internet figure and pretending to be a Marxist sociologist.
Yeah, yes. Thank you for that. Can't stand him.
For the Foreign Man critique?
I can't stand him. I can't stand him.
Mm.
FT Signifier
I still watch
any day
his
of the
slop
week.
videos, honestly.
I find him unwatchable and just obnoxious to an extreme degree. I think he's awful. I think he's genuinely awful.
Yeah, no, the critiques are not very good at all.
No. It's
like, there's no intellectual value in
They're
them.
literally music videos without music. They're terrible.
Yeah. He used to post video essays regularly enough on the main channel, but those must have been too much risk for too little reward, because now he pulls in a consistent 150,000 viewers a week. His videos, though very political, never really have a call to action. Instead, it's more of a 30-minute hate session that...
You know what's really dystopian? These bigger YouTubers can literally just say, hey, ChatGPT, make me a video script on this topic in the style of... And they can just put themselves. And, like... I think people need to realize this. It's like... When people don't put effort into their content, when it's shallow... that's a habit that they will replicate using whatever means are necessary. And like I don't think any of this stuff is being written. These people aren't sitting down and like composing stuff. People have this delusion about like content creators like Foreign Men and whatnot. Like they're just sitting down. They're just about their art, man. Okay, they're just sitting down. They're just writing out these like these. It's like no, they're not. No, they're not. FD Signifier is toned it down big time. FD Signifier is toned it down big time because he's recognized that in order to get, in his words, a seat at the table, you have to be less radical. The problem is that people don't realize that a seat at the table does not mean, oh, he's going to have a say in the policies of the Democratic Party. It means he's going to be mainstream and get personally rich by being milquetoast. And it's like, okay, good for you. I think I've made my point. Online leftist content creation is not leftist. There you go.
Validates the viewers' opinions on obvious villains and impresses them with Foreign's use of words like material conditions and class consciousness. Wow, he seems really smart for a Caribbean man.
Have you tried doing content farms to survive in your own way? No, because my brand is doing like stuff for real. So I've got a small community, but it's pretty dedicated and very supportive. By the way, I've got a Patreon. We're going to be streaming on Patreon after the stream. But leaving that aside, my brand is I do real stuff, and I do stuff that's like takes a lot of work and takes a lot of nuance and insight to do, and I like doing that. So if I were to do slop, I would lose my community and therefore my support, and I think that's a healthy incentive structure to have.
I want to support his activism. Maybe I'll buy a Nebula subscription.
It's not about being radical, it's a bit more nuanced than that. Well, is it actually? Because it seems like he's very much not radical, and it seems like he makes slop now. And it seems like he specifically told, black Democrats to not criticize black Democrats for supporting genocide. So I really don't think it's any more nuanced than that. Son, I do have a $70 Patreon. You can donate $70 if you want. I think the top tier is $50. That comes with a video essay request. I've got 2 in the works at the moment. They're late.
Well, it's no surprise that he's endorsing Crimes New Romans Go at shadowboxing.
You can be pretty radical in any direction, still get a big following. That is not true, actually. That is not true. Who do you have in mind? Who are you thinking of? Hassan Piker got banned from Twitch recently. Like, just to be clear, he was already big, so he has some level of immunity from, like, total deplatforming. Most channels that take a stance as hard as he does and they get banned at all, they're just gone forever. Like, it's not you can be pretty radical in any direction. It's you can be rich and be radical in any direction and get, second chances. That's how it works. Bad Empanada does the same thing. It's the same deal. Bigger channel for now. I don't think he's long for this platform. I think his head got too big for his britches. That's not the metaphor, is it? But he got too big for his britches. You shouldn't have your head in your britches. He got too big for his britches, and because of the Hassan connection, I think he's been like really reckless lately. I think he's probably going to disappear soon.
With the second story. That's his content. Hate watching right-wing...
Have you seen Technology Connections' new video? Yes, on energy. It's so fucking good. Oh my god, that one on solar energy, it is literally the best video I've seen this year. I'm sorry, I apologize, Richard. This one's pretty good too. But Technology Connections video on solar, oh my god, it is so good. It is so good. Oh, I was watching that today before stream. It's actually, it's... Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up, Brooks.
Racist idiots on TikTok. Is it too much to ask if I want YouTube to be better than this? Shouldn't we be a positive force in people's lives? Channels that take on political topics should channel viewers' emotions into...
Like, by the way, just quick update. This is why I'm switching to the new schedule, where it's going to be 3 streams a week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 2 on YouTube, 1 on Patreon, because I'm going to be moving towards more in-depth research-based video essays of that caliber, and then occasional, like, unscripted videos where I record to the thing at the end of my research day, specifically because I think there's more value in that, and that'll make the streams more valuable too. So over the next little while, you're going to see streams that are going to be longer on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and the other days are going to be other content. Yeah, there you go.
Political action beyond just voting.
I understand solar is supposed to be problematic in some ways. It's not actually, and he lays it out so well. He's actually so good. And he's not doing it as a leftist channel is the important part. He's doing it as an intervention on ways of thinking that are supportive of current relations of international power, not in an electricity sense, but in like a political sense, without actually touching on it directly. It's really good. This is actually how you do it. Generally speaking, political channels that are quote-unquote political channels on purpose, that where political is their brand, they tend to suck in deeper ways. It's one of the reasons why a lot of the best channels right now, just in terms of subverting like dominant reactionary positions, are actually sort of liberal and centrist in their aesthetic, even if they're not in their actual position. So I'm thinking of like Technology Connections is one example. Angela Collier, I cannot stop singing the praises of, and I never will. Sue me. People like that. People who do that are very good. I like these videos as well, specifically because they actually point out like problems in quote-unquote political content. Sort of a wake-up call for me as well. It's one of the reasons why I like this, because I do response videos occasionally. And it's like, okay, you know?
Or, hell, beyond even donating. I want more people to be conscious.
Are you talking about his critique of Solarpunk video? Technology Connections? I didn't know where, wasn't where he had a Solarpunk critique. No, I'm talking about his video talking about like why solar power, for example, is very good and why oil is unnecessary. It's extremely good.
I want people to see the wave as it peeks over their heads, know where it came from, and dive through it before it crashes on them. Obviously, I'm sick of idiots like Second Story, Asmongold, and Trump, 3 self-contradicting assholes who can't seem to stop failing upwards. We need to stop hate-watching them. We need to make people like this an irrelevant joke.
Do you use a solar panel? If you watch that video, you'll have an excellent answer for you.
To do this, we need to actually affect the people that we're making videos for. Every video should be personal, wise, motivated, not just well-researched and well-produced. To summarize my points, first, we talked about Hillary Lane's background and established that she's a poor writer with no relevant credentials in literary analysis and education, not even unofficial ones that she can spin into relevant experience. Then, we answered the question of how we handle grifters. We ignore them because making videos about them and commenting on their pages drives extra engagement their way and earns them more money. Finally, we talked about what YouTubers should offer to their audience, namely new modes of analysis and critical thought that will make them permanently smarter, not just emotional validation and catharsis by being mean to someone the audience doesn't like. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. Have an excellent snow week.
I don't think I will, actually.
I didn't.
This has been a spooky winter for us. There's been no snow at all. Nothing.
Really?
No cold even. It's like 10 degrees outside. We're late January. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Man.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's like -10 here. Exactly -10.
What's the conclusion of the video? He's very pro solar energy. He's critical of people who insist on the needfulness of oil and other alternatives because they're literally just there to maintain the market hegemony of people who establish dominance through oil. That's it. You don't need oil. And he even makes the great point about like the space required for solar. It's like, well, hang on. We're using all of this space for agriculture to supplement our oil use. It's like and it's functional like all year round. There's literally no reason not to.
Mm-hmm.
No, solar panels are very efficient at the scale that we are capable of now. So that's wrong. Go watch the video. Stop asking about the video. Go watch it. Go learn something.
Well, don't watch it now, because now you're busy.
No, I'm not. I'm going to go on to Patreon now.
No, I'm talking to the commenter.
Oh, no, they're not busy. They're going to go watch it now. They've got a job. To go watch it or you're banned. I will find you, okay? Yeah, the argument of the video is not you should personally go out and get a solar panel for your rental apartment that you can't install it on. Okay, just get a grip. Obviously, it's not the point. We're going to be going on to Patreon. We're going to be doing some call-ins and chat and such. Richard, thanks for joining. And go subscribe to Richard Discord, and you need a new channel name.
Yeah, I do. I was thinking of being Richard the Goat, but
Richard the Goat
maybe
is
that's bad.
Richard the Goat is good. Dick the Goat is good. There you go.
Dick the Goat.
Don't call yourself.
That
Dick
sounds terrible.
I know, but it sticks in your mind, doesn't it?
Maybe.
Do Richard the Goat, but make goat in like all caps.
What is Richard the Goat Heart?
What?
Somebody, the Queen of Swords suggested Richard the Goat Heart.
That's terrible. That's weird. That's
Yeah.
so weird. What?
There's a Dick Wolf.
Everyone
could be Dick
shame the
Goat.
Queen of Swords. Like Richard the
like
Lionheart, but
Richard
it's a
the
goat.
Lionheart.
But it's the character's literally a goat, so why not just say Richard the Goat Pancreas?
Goat Pancreas. That might be a bit too much of a deep cut. I feel sorry to say.
No, Andrews.
People are going to think that I'm Richard
Silence.
the Goat Heart, like Fireheart from Warrior Cats.
Go Dick Goated. Goated Dick,
Yeah.
there you go.
Goated Dick.
Goated Dick.
That's terrible.
That is terrible. Alright, we're going to go on live on Patreon in like 5 minutes. I'll see you there. The solar video, is that one published today? Yeah, it is, on Technology Connections. I'm going to be live on Patreon. There's a link in the latest community post. Richard, thanks for joining, and make sure you go subscribe to Richard Discord, which may be something... Why is this so off-center? Go respond to Richard Discord, okay? Because he's making more stuff. Alright. Yeah, this is like completely off-center. What the hell?